When I married Carter, I knew my life would change. Not only did I take on a new last name, but I also stepped into the life of Leo, his 16-year-old son. Being a stepmother wasn't something I had ever imagined, but love makes you embrace the unexpected. Carter was a warm person, and I wanted to build a home with him. Even if it meant getting used to a quiet teenager. Leo wasn't easy to approach. He wasn't rude, just distant, responding with short nods or fleeting glances. I understood why. His mother had left long ago, leaving him and Carter to manage on their own. I, a stranger, was trying to fit into their world. I knew trust took time, so I started with small things. Making his favorite sandwiches, leaving encouraging notes in his lunchbox, cheering at his basketball games even though he never looked my way. I didn't force him to talk, I just stayed present, hoping he'd see I was reliable. At first, Leo kept his guard up, but I was patient. Once, he left a notebook on the kitchen table, filled with talented sketches of cars and cityscapes. I put it back and left a new box of pencils with a note, "I like your drawings." He didn't mention it, but he started leaving the notebook in plainer sight, like a subtle sign. Gradually, he responded more when I asked about school, even laughed at my silly stories. Those moments were like the first bricks in building a bridge between us. The journey was still long, but I was ready to show Leo the first wasn't just Carter's wife, but someone he could depend on. One rainy afternoon, everything changed in a way I didn't expect. I came home early from work, and the house was unusually quiet. Music drifted faintly from Leo's room, so I thought he was relaxing. Passing by, I noticed his door was slightly ajar. Without thinking much, I knocked lightly, barely making a sound, and pushed the door open a bit more. And then I saw Leo, sitting on his bed, facing away. At first, I didn't understand what was happening. Then he jumped, quickly pulling a blanket over himself, his face turning bright red. In that awkward moment, I realized I had caught him in a private moment, something normal for a teenager, but still incredibly embarrassing. My face burned. "Sorry, Leo," I stammered, quickly closing the door and rushing to the kitchen, my heart pounding. I wanted to disappear. I felt ashamed for both of us, but more than anything, I feared this would ruin the small steps we'd made together. If I made a big deal out of it, he might shut me out forever. I told myself to stay calm, be kind, and let it go. That evening, Leo sat at the kitchen counter, silently stirring a bowl of soup without eating. I took a deep breath and sat across from him. "Hey, about this afternoon," I said softly. "You don't need to feel weird." I should have knocked louder. "I'll be more careful next time." He looked up, a hint of surprise in his eyes, then gave an awkward smile. He didn't say anything, but I felt a door had just cracked open. From then on, Leo began to change, as if that moment had removed a layer of the barrier between us. After that awkward afternoon, Leo gradually opened up. He started joining family dinners, occasionally talking about school or his basketball team. Once, he asked me to help pick a shirt as a birthday gift for his girlfriend. I was so surprised I nearly spilled my coffee, but I stayed calm and helped him choose a thoughtful gift. These moments, though small, showed me trust was growing. Then Leo began asking me things he didn't want to ask Carter, like how to start a conversation with a crush or which cologne was best. I listened, answered without judgment, and always let him feel at ease. I learned that trust doesn't come from grand gestures but from quiet moments when you make someone feel safe. That awkward moment didn't ruin our relationship. Instead, it became a turning point because I chose to respect him and give him space. Years later, at Leo's high school graduation, I stood in the crowd, tears in my eyes. He spotted me, flashed a radiant smile, pointed at me, and tossed his cap into the air. That small gesture held immense meaning. I was no longer just Carter's wife, I was family. If someone had said that awkward afternoon would change everything, I wouldn't have believed it. But sometimes, the most uncomfortable moments become the most significant if you handle them with kindness. I didn't say perfect words or do anything grand. I just showed Leo he was respected, allowed to be himself. And that's how love grows, through quiet understanding.